What is up, bros? Welcome to the All Bros podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Vic.
And we are...
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure if...
Oh.
I don't want to throw off your guys' thunder. Sorry, you go ahead.
Nah, you're good. We are a couple of aspiring filmmakers that love to watch and critique movies, but also enjoy a lot of bit of the nerd life. Today, we are joined by our most frequent special guest, Vic, from Crash and Taz's movie Cellar.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, do I get a medal or something? I
think
plaque,
you do.
trophy, something, I don't know. Some kind of recognition for the most visits on your show.
We'll have to figure that out, because I was thinking of getting you like a hoodie.
I will gladly wear All Bros merch. Like, don't even tempt me with a good time. I will gladly wear some All Bros merch. Do not even tempt me.
Oh, we'll definitely make that happen then. But yeah, I lost track of how many episodes this is. This is like 6.
Yeah,
6
right.
or 7.
Something like that. For sure, all the Spider-Man ones are as many as I can think of that you've done for Spider-Man, Endgame, Tusk.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tusk.
Yeah, so there's a few.
Yeah. The one that's seared into my brain is the Endgame one, because you tried jacking up our character development score.
Well, buddy, there's no jacking up whatsoever. I'm just. We'll go on. I could go on for a while about that. But
Come on, guys. That's in the past. We're in the present. Come on.
Can you tell that I'm still bitter about it?
A little bit. Wearing your Captain America shirt right there. Like, yeah, a little bit. I could tell.
I mean, if it was Hawkeye, yeah, I'd be bitter too.
I mean,
yeah, I made a fashion choice today. I'm like, nah, we're talking to Vic today. Guess what I'm wearing?
and I did share with you guys before we started recording that, I was never really a Captain America fan. Like I enjoyed him, I like him, but he's not my favorite until Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he's not even in it. But like, I don't know. I just feel no like real development from him. He's always the Boy Scout kind of thing.
Man, we are not getting into this today.
We're not. No, we're here to talk about something else.
All right. So before Vic freaking spikes my blood pressure, we are going to be talking about in Funko Focus a new Avatar: The Last Airbender figure.
Hell yeah!
Is getting released. And then in Through the Wall, we have 3 bits of news. The first one, we're going to be talking about the Shang Chi trailer that dropped. This week? Last week?
I think it was this week.
Yeah, I swear it was this week.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
We got some Sonic the Hedgehog 2 news that I'm super excited for. And then Rose and Vic are going to fill us in on a new Sony and Disney deal for 2022.
Hell yeah. Can't wait.
Mostly Vic, guys. I'm just going to spoil it right now. It's mostly Vic.
It's all good.
All right. Well, with that, or after all that, we will be breaking down the New Mutants, which has been
Finally.
a long time coming. I mean, hell, we almost put as long of a delay on that as Fox did releasing it.
For real, though.
So how long are you going to wait? How long are you guys going to wait to do Black Widow? As long as MCU, waited to release that, or...
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? We'll just keep pushing it back.
Please don't. I'm gonna go on the record right now and say I want to be on that episode when you do a Black Widow episode. Just saying, I am totally fine with chatting for an hour plus about Scarlett Johansson on the big screen. So
we're down.
Yeah, same here. I don't know why
All
I just
right,
said
well.
same here when he clearly said we're down. I'm losing it.
All right, well, with that, let's get into the actual episode. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
Hey bros, this is Caleb cutting in to ask for your guys' help to support a couple indie filmmakers we connected with and to support their upcoming film Willow and Lydia, story of a couple that have struggles conceiving and turn to supernatural methods of help. Follow the creators on Instagram at SuperAstra and check out their campaign link in the description of this episode. They would really appreciate the help and we love to support indie filmmakers, so let's make it happen. Again, all links and info will be in the description. Thanks, bros. Alrighty, first up, starting off in Funko Focus, we have a new Avatar The Last Airbender figure, which Vic was actually the one to remind us about this one, because I completely forgot about seeing this one.
Yeah.
I think it just didn't like stick out as much as some other ones did. Like, it's still a bitchin' figure.
I think it.
So you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. I think this one stood out for me just because I love The Last Airbender. I watch the show, like, if I can watch it all the way through, like, I can never just watch an episode just to get my Avatar fix. I always have to like watch the entire series. But yeah, I mean, I've seen one like with Aang. He's on his little air ball, like where he's just kind of like floating. But this one was like badass because he's in the Avatar state. He's got fire, the earth, water, wind all around him, and it's during his last battle with the Fire Lord or the Phoenix. What is it? I think it's like the Phoenix Lord or whatever he calls himself.
Ooh.
What does he call
I
himself?
I think it's the Phoenix Lord.
Something like that. But
Or the Phoenix King.
the Phoenix King. There you go. You're right. Yeah, so I mean I just think it looks badass. Yeah. It would probably be, aside from my Dumbledore pop and my 4 Tombstone pops, this might be one of the few non-Marvel pops that I would try and pick up.
Yeah, it's a killer figure. The thing that like stood out to me, because like they had the normal one,
Mm-hmm.
but the one that stood out is that they're releasing a 10-inch of that Avatar state Aang, and that would be bitchin'.
That'd be kind of cool. The one I've seen so far, or at least that they've been saying, is like the 6-inch. Or at least that was the biggest one that I had seen, but I haven't heard about the 10-inch. But that'd be nice too.
Yeah, If I see that one in person, that might be a hard one for me to turn down.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I also have a journey ahead of me with some Hulk figures right now, so
I'm trying to help you with it,
We'll
man.
see.
I really am. I've been in touch with my guy. He said he's going to entertain the idea. And I texted him today, just trying to shoot the shit about, Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff. And I haven't heard back from him yet. So he's either busy or like he doesn't want to like run the risk of me talking business with him. So we'll see. I'm trying to help you with that journey, my friend.
Oh man. Yeah, that's going to be an ordeal. But anyway, that's the newest Funko figure that's coming out. There's a few other Avatar ones coming out. I think there's Ozai.
Yeah.
Fire Lord Ozai's coming out. Ty Lee.
Uncle Iroh is
what's her
on
name?
there, it looked like. Let me see.
Yeah, they have a few new ones that are coming out.
Oh no, that's
so.
not Iroh. Sorry, that was General. Shit.
Oh, Zhao.
General Zhao. There you go. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he's got
that one's-
the little bag with the moon spirit. Bless you, sir. He's
Thank
got
you.
the bag that's holding the moon spirit from that episode. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good show. Such an amazing show. So if you guys haven't watched it, go check it out. It's on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
I'll try my best to.
You've never seen The
You-
Last Airbender?
what?
Holy
nope, never seen
shit!
it. Yeah, I know. I tried to get into
Gross.
it. I just couldn't.
Okay,
What?
Yes. I don't know. Just couldn't get into it.
Oh my gosh! I've never heard wow. I mean, to each his own. To each his own. It's fine. But oh my god, I've never
No, not to each his own. That's bullshit.
Oh shit.
shit.
Dude, so what did you have you just tried watching it from beginning to end, or what have you tried doing?
Oh, this was when I was younger, and it was actually still on Nickelodeon. I caught I think one or two episodes that were completely out of order, and I don't know.
That's where you went wrong. That's where you went wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
What?
characters just didn't do it for me.
What? Watch.
Okay, dude. You need to watch it from beginning to end.
But I start with the movie first, though, right?
No,
Dude,
God,
I will
no.
punch you in the gonads.
Don't
No.
worry. Utah's
You do
closer.
not start with the movie.
Utah's closer for me than it is for you. I will personally go and kick him in the nuts. Do not start with the movie. Don't even bother with the movie. The movie sucks. Oh man. Oh. Wow.
Oh my god, dude, that's a cultural staple of our generation. You cannot get away with not watching that. You need to watch it from beginning to end.
You do. Absolutely.
Yes, sirs.
Jesus. Oh.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
Talk about and you thought I was gonna get your blood pressure up. He just got it up. It looks like he got it up quicker than I ever would have. I was building up to it at least.
Oh man.
Dude, I cannot freaking do it with you two today.
Oh shit.
Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? I don't even know what I would do if you guys did an episode on your own. My heart would explode.
Be hilarious.
Ugh.
I mean,
Is this a
you
bad
can't really
time to
say
bring-
that. There's very few things that you and I have discussed a lot. There's very few things that you and I differ from, have differences in, and difference of opinions. This is one of the Captain America is one of the few, and maybe my to each his own statement, but about Rose not having seen this episode or that show.
So is it a bad time, Caleb, to also bring up that I have never seen Invader Zim?
Oh.
I just want.
That's a tough one too. But listen,
I just want
Invader
to kill
Zim is
Caleb
not
tonight.
for everyone.
That's really what it is.
I will admit, Invader Zim is not for everyone.
It's not,
Okay.
but it's still a good. That's still a good show. That's a good one.
But Avatar: The Last Airbender is for everyone, and if you haven't watched it, you're wrong.
I'm gonna laugh if I absolutely hate the show. I'm just saying.
You won't.
Bet.
You will not hate the show.
Bet.
Dude,
Bet.
Ooh, what am I going to bet you?
Rochambeau. You got Rochambeau him.
No, I need to put something significant on the line.
Getting kicked in the balls
if he does
isn't
not like
significant?
this show. No, it's
It's hold on, guy. Getting kicked in the balls is not significant.
I was gonna
Rochambeau.
say that's gonna stop me from having children. So
Excuse me.
Okay, I will give up my Hulk shelf if you do not like the Avatar
Oh.
Last
nah,
Airbender.
dude, that's too much. Nope.
No,
I will
that's
pretend I like it.
No,
then.
that is how confident I am that you will like it.
Yeah, but how do you know if I'm not faking?
That's
Because
true.
now that you've said that you're giving up your Hulk shelf, even if I hate it, I'm gonna lie because I'm not gonna take that from you.
Yeah, that's a tough one to put up. That's a tough one to put up, man.
Okay.
Slap bet. Slap bet.
Then I need. Okay. What else could I put up?
Slap bet.
Fine. Yeah, we'll do a slap bet.
All right, deal.
Yes, and record that shit.
Well, yeah. Yeah, if you do not like Avatar: The Last Airbender, I will let you slap me.
Okay, deal.
But if he does like it, then you get to slap him.
No, hitting Rose is like hitting a puppy.
I can see. Yeah, I can
I
see.
don't know how I should feel about that.
No, I wouldn't want to hit you.
Am I like that sensitive, or like am I like that?
No, it's just you're a good guy, man. Like you're one of those guys. Like
Thank you.
I would feel bad after. Like I could be drunk off my ass. We get in an argument, and like, not saying that I could, but like if I did like beat your ass, like I would feel bad afterwards. You know, bloody
It's
knuckles
like,
and all.
You're like you're the All Bros equivalent of Tom Hanks.
I'll take that as a huge compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, like a comedian I listened to pointed out, he's just like, if it were to come out tomorrow that Tom Hanks punched a nun, everyone would ask, so what the hell did the nun do to piss off Tom Hanks?
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like no one would even like question why Tom. Like, well, he must have had a good reason.
That's a good point.
True that.
Yeah, and if something bad happens to Tom Hanks, then it's like a national tragedy.
I mean, hell, did you see how like much the world freaked out when he was
Had
one of the
COVID.
first case? Yeah, it was one of the first cases of COVID. That's I feel like
Oh my
one of like the
gosh.
big instances. People are just like, "Oh my gosh, it actually is something."
It's not fake. It's not fake. It's got Hanks.
It's real.
Oh shit!
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'll. So that's what we're putting on the line. If you don't like Avatar,
Dude,
Okay.
he should make.
and if you do like Avatar, I just get bragging rights.
All right,
He-
deal.
Speaking of Tom Hanks, really quickly, he should do like a sequel to Forrest Gump where it shows him as Forrest Gump getting COVID, because he was like in every other big national like thing, like, and then it, you know what I mean? Like he's the one that like with the Watergate and all that stuff, like. He's the one that called it in, supposedly. Like, I just think that would be so funny. Like, let's do one where it's Forrest Gump, but this is like, you know, the 2000s version.
It's
Oh my
it's
gosh,
him
that'd
that realizes that it's a good thing to wear a mask and that it helps everyone. It's not doctors that discover it. It's Forrest Gump.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that'd be insane.
Or he was there with the guy that ate the bat. I don't know. Like, they could do something. They could
They could
do something.
I feel they could actually do so much with Forrest Gump during COVID-19.
Indie movie makers, let's make this happen. Come on, please.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Anyway, moving on from Avatar and getting into our Through the Wall segment. I'm going to start off with the Sony and Disney deal first, and we'll make our way to what I think we have the most to say about.
Okay.
So, Vic, you know a little bit more information than we do on this.
So I found today, I don't know that this news dropped today, the 22nd of April, and the year of our Lord 2021. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that was today that it like dropped, or if maybe this is just when it got bigger, but that Disney and Sony have they have this deal where starting 2022 to 2026, Disney Plus is going to have a lot of their like Sony movies available to us on Disney Plus, starting with, of course, Far From Home, Homecoming, Venom, and that's also going to include, so like after like after No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home hits theaters and makes its way to streaming and everything, it'll be available on there as well. Same thing with like Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It also includes stuff like Hotel Transylvania and a couple other stuff, but I mean the big one is definitely
It's like in all the other shit.
shit.
What we're talking about is Spider-Man.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I don't want to digress on any other bullshit. Like Spider-Man is going to be available on Disney Plus after Spider-Man No Way Home hits theaters. So I'm freaking excited about that shit. So be badass.
That's going to be crazy because then oh wait, I can't say all of them, but well, all the ones that really matter, all of the MCU movies will be on Disney Plus. The only one that wouldn't be is Incredible Hulk. Mm-hmm. And I don't even really consider that part of
it. Yeah. Damn. I mean, it would be
hard
nice
to consider it because it feels so detached.
It does. No, it does.
Do you feel if Mark Ruffalo did actually play Bruce Banner in that one, it wouldn't?
I think it would have helped.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
I think it's just so many things were changed about that. Well, it wasn't even that many. It was the design of Hulk changed, the actor for Hulk changed, and it's just like a bunch of things. Like nothing came out of that movie.
Yeah, not like you only see him as a supporting actor. Excuse me, or character like in future films. You know, I mean, what's his Tim Roth? Like, you know, Abomination. There's nothing about him. The only one that we see out of that film is, what's his name? Thunderbolt.
General Ross.
General Ross. You know, we don't see anybody else really, and that's about it. I mean, now Tim Roth is going to be in the She-Hulk show as Abomination, but that's like the first time we see him again or even hear about Abomination in years. You know.
Wait, he's got.
Yeah, you go on IMDb and he is listed on there, my friend.
Okay.
He's casted on there as Abomination.
That's going to be cool. So, like, yeah, it's like I think that's like exactly the reason it feels so detached. Other than Thunderbolt Ross, nothing came out of that movie.
Yeah.
Nothing. No loose ends got tied up. The only thing. Okay. Let me like backtrack a little bit. The only thing that came out is the little short that Marvel did, the one shot, called the Consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think it was Agent Coulson was in discussion, and they were trying to figure out how to recruit the Hulk, because the only person that General Ross was willing to like give them was Abomination, and they're like, no, he's a bad guy. And they needed someone to go and convince him, and then that's how the whole end credit scene with Iron Man happened.
Well, you've heard
so it just ties into that.
You've heard of some rumors, right? For I mean, it's all fan theory and stuff, but about like Dark Avengers or like the Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts,
not the Dark Avengers. You're right. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Dark Avengers.
Not Dark
Avengers. Something completely different.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I did mix them up. The Thunderbolts, because they are lining up a lot of stuff. I mean, anyways, we could get into that a lot more. I'm sure if time allowed it, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's been so many years since we've seen anything from Abomination. They teased the leader, which nothing came from that. It's just like so much stuff that they could have incorporated. Nothing ended up happening.
Right.
Like, seriously, the only thing that you could pull from that movie is the end credit scene, and you would basically have everything that the Incredible Hulk movie was, or what it led up to.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, we need a big guy.
True that.
Like, you could have made that like another end credit scene at the end of like Thor or something, and it would have had just the exact same amount of impact on the MCU as a whole. Then, gosh, dude, I'm so pissed off with the MCU and Hulk. I'm about to get into another rant, but
Oh shit.
overall, I'm excited to see Spider-Man on Disney Plus and everything that's going to come after that.
Yeah.
Super excited.
And I've been reading the Donny Cates Venom, and I'm really like, I don't know, I've been wanting to watch that film too, and it's just not. It'd be nice if it was just like on something like Disney Plus, where I could just throw it on whenever, you know. I mean, I know there's other what's it called, forms of streaming and stuff, but
I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max.
is it? You
Yeah.
might be right. Then I'll have to check on there. I haven't really like dived too much into HBO Max. I do have that available to me, but I just haven't really like looked at too much of what's on there.
Yeah, they have a lot of the DC stuff on there. Yeah. your face damn near said it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the DC stuff is on there, and there's some pretty decent movies here and there that have been on HBO.
Yeah. No, we've seen a couple, but just I haven't like dived into looking for that particular movie on it, but
They have the best movie of all time though on HBO Max.
what's that?
Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked.
Dude. What the hell is wrong with you?
I mean, you don't like the werewolf one, like the Halloween one? Come on, man.
I mean, I'm sure he likes the original Chipmunk movies, not just the live action ones.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
They're a guilty pleasure, okay? Shut up.
So Spider-Man will be on Disney Plus 2022, guys.
Does that
Hells
include
yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Ooh, I don't know. I would imagine so. I mean, that's Sony, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I'm just wondering because Netflix has the rights to that movie right now. So
They'll probably.
That's probably why they say 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll
Makes
probably have like have to wait out. If I remember, like there were some movies. I think like Venom, Let There Be Carnage. They'll have to wait it out like until after it's had its run on Netflix, and then they'll like move it on to there. So I mean, yeah, there's all of those, you know, other deals and stuff that they have, streaming negotiations and stuff that they've got to wait out and stuff. But I think that's why they made that like a 4-year span where you can, you know, you'll still have time to watch all that and have it available on something like Disney Plus.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be nice to see like a completed MCU list.
Yeah.
Because I always seem to forget where Homecoming goes.
Homecoming is gonna be after. It's the third one so far. Like if you just kept watching from the Infinity Saga on, so like WandaVision is supposed to be a few weeks after the funeral. Falcon.
No,
and
I meant Homecoming.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I always seem to forget where that one goes because I think it's after Civil War, but before, what is it, Doctor Strange?
I think so.
Or
because didn't Doctor Strange
chronologically,
come out,
I know
like,
it's a
couple months
little,
later?
it's like immediately after, but release date wise, I think I forget where that one always goes.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to have that like set in place. All right, so yeah, we can look forward to that in 2022. Another thing that we can look forward to, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. some set photos have come out from that, and I could not be more excited. Did you see the first Sonic the Hedgehog?
I didn't.
Vic.
Dude.
Is it good?
It's really good.
One thing I was excited about was that they did change up his look to be more video game accurate, as opposed to like the shit that they came up with at the beginning of it all.
Yeah, that was just flat out garbage.
That was but that was huge to see, like, and I mean, like, let me just go off on a side, like a little like tangent, but like just huge to like how it showed how much of a voice like fans and viewers like how much of an influence they can actually have on stuff. I mean, they already had that first credit already out, and they hit the brakes quick. And dude,
yeah,
because it
was
obviously
so
was
funny.
not that difficult for them to change that.
No, I think that it was a little harder than people think, because you have to see the movie, and we talk about this in our breakdown of it. Which
I've listened to the breakdown, but I haven't watched it. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times, a lot of the movies that, like, if I haven't seen them yet that you guys talk about, I still listen to them. I don't mind the spoilers when I'm listening on here.
Yeah. So, like, one thing that we talked about in there, you could almost tell what they had done with the old model versus what they started from scratch with the new model, because there were times where the new model, he's very like active, very animated, just quick movements and just like very animated. But then there were some scenes where he was just kind of like almost stationary, where his movements were a little bit more subtle, a little bit more like lifelike, not quite as animated as he usually was throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's like with scenes like that where they just swapped them out. They're just like, okay, we have the movement tracked, we just need to put the new model on there. And so it seemed like it felt like more realistic in the movements rather than like crazy zipping around. And
yeah,
like if you pay attention to it, like you can definitely see those moments.
I'm not against watching it. It's not that I'm against watching the movie. I actually do. It's on my list. It's just not as high on my list of things that like is important for me to watch right now. I mean, honestly, like Falcon and Winter Soldier is like top of the list. That's why I plan on staying up till after midnight to watch that. So I mean, it is on my list though of things to watch.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one for kids too, I think.
Yeah.
Especially ones that enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So we definitely give it our seal of approval.
Yes, we do.
But the set photos that came out, and this is kind of a spoiler for Sonic the Hedgehog, so skip ahead if you haven't seen it. But so Tails makes a cameo appearance at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog. And the set photos show that they have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
I do like Knuckles. Knuckles is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Knuckles is going to be in this movie, and they have like plastic stand-ins for the actors. So it's just like super stationary, like almost like they did like the 3D model of the hedgehogs, but they're standing out and painted and everything. They look freaking amazing. And so like really it was only that and like a couple scenes with like the human actors. So James Marsden he looked kind of like dirtied up, like explosions were happening and some shit. But the big thing was that those three stand-ins were there, and Knuckles was a part of them.
Nice.
And there is a rumor going around. It is not confirmed, but I think it would be damn near perfect if they did this. The supposed voice for Knuckles is possibly going to be Jason Momoa.
That would be perfect.
That would.
I'm trying to think of like another actor that would like the voice anyways that could fit that, and that would actually be pretty good.
I sometimes forget how deep Knuckles' voice is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sonic is, I'm assuming, is still going to be voiced by Ben Schwartz. Tails, I forget who the name of the voice actor that does Tails, but it's going to be the voice that did, or that he's going to be the voiced by the person that voices him in like the video games and any other appearance that Tails has been in. And then yeah, like Knuckles, like they've moved around Knuckles, like the voice actor, a lot. So yeah, I think Jason Momoa would be a really fun fit for this.
That would be.
But you could, any like tough and gruff actor you could possibly throw in as Knuckles. Like, true. I was trying to think of like better ones, and the only one that I thought of that was just like maybe was like John Bernthal, who for those of you that don't know, he played Punisher in the Netflix series.
What about
that, like,
no, maybe not. Never mind. I was gonna say I was gonna mention someone, but I don't think he'd be capable of even just kind of scruffing up his voice a little bit. I was gonna say Tom Hardy. Like, even if he could just like scruff it up a little bit, or like just kind of lower the tone.
I dig that too.
That'd be a tough one.
I don't know.
I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, I've never heard his voice get like all.
Yeah, that's
like
why I'm saying like
rough.
you have to get. He'd have to be like kind of gruffy.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate though that they're kind of basing Knuckles off of a little bit how he looked in Sonic Boom, where he's slightly taller than Sonic, but like not like I feel in Sonic Boom he was way taller than Sonic. Here he's just slightly taller, so. I feel the proportions don't look weird like they do in Sonic Boom, because I hate his height in that one. Knuckles should not be that tall, but what do I know? But here I feel it's the perfect mix.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing from the model that I think that they should add is the spikes on his gloves. Or does he have the spikes? Because I wasn't.
It does.
The picture
it looks
I'm
like he
looking at.
does.
Yeah, the picture I'm looking at looks like he does.
Okay.
At least with
I might have just missed
with his right arm, or sorry, the way we're looking at it, it would be his left arm or left hand, whatever.
Okay, maybe I just missed it or confused it for a rock or something in the background.
Very good enough.
But yeah, super excited. I freaking love Knuckles. I'm curious as to who the villain's going to be. I'm theorizing that it might be Shadow.
I feel if they put Shadow in, it's too much for this sequel. You're already introducing...
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel now that you have to explain why Knuckles is here, having to explain where Shadow comes in, that's just going to be a lot to do. And because we don't know a lot about Dr. Eggman yet, or at least his crazy side, and he's the one that creates Shadow, I feel that if they do make a third one, they should save Shadow for the third.
I hope they do, because I really like Shadow, but
I mean, I think
I don't know who else they could do as a villain.
I can see Rose having a point though. Like, you know, I think the smart thing would be to like open yourself up to have more content, more movie. You know what I mean? Like, if you can throw out a third movie, with explaining this like having some more depth in another character, like I could see that being pretty beneficial for them. You know what I mean? With at least with doing something like that. You know, if I knew I had to play the waiting game a little bit just so I could get out a third movie to, you know, a franchise that is, you know, semi-popular or pretty popular, I would probably go that route, like what Jonathan said.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, if they're going to try bringing in Dr. Eggman again, which I assume that's what they're going to do.
I'd be very shocked if they didn't.
Yeah, because it's like, who else does Sonic face?
Yeah,
other than Shadow.
Exactly. Yeah, it's it would be way too. I feel if they try to bring in Metal Sonic, people would just be like, "What the hell? Introduced Eggman in the first one, and now you're bringing in Metal Sonic? The shit?"
No, they're just going to have another Mecha Godzilla situation on their hands, and that would be so dumb.
Fair enough.
It would get a lot of
Honestly,
hate for that.
I'm just excited that we're getting a second movie to this, because I wasn't sure we were going to.
Yeah, I remember it was up in the air for a while.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they're making a sequel to this, because I think the first movie absolutely deserved it. It did have its issues, but I think they worked them out as best they could.
Oh yeah.
So, congratulations to everyone that's working on that, or that did work on that. We appreciate the hell out of that movie.
And the fact that it's the same director really makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be so cool. All right, last up, we have the trailer for Shang Chi, or apparently, as it's appropriately pronounced, Shang Chi.
Shang-Chi.
That sounds so much cooler.
I know, or Shang Chi.
Yeah, Shang Chi.
I think it's Shang-Chi. I don't know. I'm just going off of what feels right, you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so this trailer dropped sometime this week, and I'm so excited. I love when Marvel grows a pair and is willing to take a risk on a new character like this. And from the looks of it, it seems like we're going to have a really fun character on our hands.
Oh yeah. I feel like this is one of those, like, in my opinion, like let's say like Ant-Man or even Guardians of the Galaxy scenarios where they're throwing in a character that, like, I don't know. I mean, Ant-Man in the comics, like, he's like the first one knocked out. But look at, he's got two big movies that people love. You know, he's a character that people love, and I can see this doing very well. And it did make me a lot more excited about it. It's a character now that I want to get more introduced to and familiar with. That, yeah, it's a really. It looks like it's going to be a really great movie.
Yeah, hopefully this movie doesn't suffer from the, I'll just call it the Marvel syndrome of excessive cuts in the fight scenes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping with him being a kung fu based hero that they are more willing to get crazier with the choreography.
Mm-hmm.
And be willing to do more than just like a shit ton of cuts to explain what a fight scene's doing. Because I think what makes a good kung fu movie is all of the action being seen at one time. And I don't know if he's involved, but I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Jackie Chan was involved in choreographing this movie. Because there are some things in this trailer that felt very Jackie Chan. So he's in the he's on a bus and it's like crashing or tipping or whatever, and he does this thing where he kind of catches two people with his feet.
Yeah.
And the way that he does it, like the first one he kind of catches with his foot, and then like someone else kind of comes in, so he catches them with the other. Like it's just that movement felt like a classic Jackie Chan, like freaking Rush Hour stuff. And
Gosh, I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that in some way, shape, or form that he was involved in this.
I'm gonna look it up.
But this looks like it's gonna be super cool. So a little bit of history, or at least the history that I know of Shang Chi. He is the son of I want to say Chinese mafia, like boss, and his father wants him to take over his position, but he refuses and kind of goes off and lives his own life, learns kung fu, becomes the greatest fighter in the Marvel universe and everything. So I think some people are saying that his father is the Mandarin.
They are, from what I've heard, and I'm not, again, just because I'm not super familiar with him, it sounds like they are kind of like altering his story with that, and they are going to be making the Mandarin like his father, or like somebody who is a father figure anyways to him, and like is the person that trains him and everything. So I that's what it's sounding like. I don't know if that's something that is that's true to the comics, or if it's something that is like MCU is just kind of altering it just to make sense for the MCU's sake anyways.
I think that's what's happening, because the Mandarin in the comics is mainly an Iron Man villain.
Yeah.
And so with this, it would make sense that the Mandarin is his father in a way, just because they don't want to just be like, oh, it's just some random mafia dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's the power broker.
It also looks like they're changing the 10 rings a little bit. At least this, again, this is just a pure assumption on my part. So the 10 rings in the comics are literal, like, wear them on your hands. Mm-hmm. They're rings. And when you have all 10 of them, you can, like, it's basically like a less cool version of the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
But in this, there's a scene where you see someone's arm and there's like 4 rings on their arm. So I'm wondering if they're more bracers than like rings.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at Shang Chi, sorry. If you look at Shang-Chi in the comics, one of his identifying traits is he has the red jumpsuit that he wears for his outfit, but he has bracers on his arms, on both of his arms. But in the promotional, because we got a poster and some other like official pictures on set, the one thing that he's missing is the bracers. And so I'm wondering if the 10 rings are going to become his bracers at the end.
I can see it being that, or even, just something that comes along like that kind of completes his, where they're going to try and make him as close to like he does in the comics. And I feel like it's going to be something part of his costume or his makeup that it's going to complete itself as it goes along. You know what I mean? Kind of like You look at Doctor Strange, we don't see him with a cape until like, halfway, a little more than halfway through the movie, when he gets the cape of levitation. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm wondering if it'll be something like that. But yeah, no, I agree with you. That's kind of where I was at on my assumption that they kind of changed that up a little bit, which I'm all for. Like, you know what? Just give it to me.
Yeah. His suit looks super badass. Everything in this show, it looks like it's going to be killer.
Yeah.
Or this movie, it looks like it's going to be killer.
I was going to say, dude, movie, not
sorry.
show.
I'm getting used to or saying show now when it comes to Marvel.
Fair enough.
But I'm excited. I hope he does get the bracers, because in the podcast I listened to where he Dynamic Duel, they did an episode with Shang Chi and Lady Shiva from DC Comics, and like that's literally the only way that he won was like their stats were like neck and neck, but what put Shang Chi ahead a little bit was his bracers. So if the MCU removes them, it's kind of like, I'll be a little disappointed, but not much. Just I'm excited for this movie. Anyway, based off this trailer, 1 out of 10, how excited are you?
I'm up there with like a 9. Like I'm like at a 9. Because it's, again, like where we're at with phase 4 now, like we're already in the ball's already rolling. Like the ball has been rolled for phase 4, and I'm excited because it's one of those, like, it's just a character that they're going to introduce to us now that I know now I'll be able to expect in future films. Future team up films, and that's something that I am super excited about. So it's made me, just seeing the trailer just made me that much more excited about it. So definitely a 9.
Nice.
Rose?
Don't kill me. I'm at like a 7, and that's only because this movie is kind of giving me the same feelings I had with Doctor Strange. I really don't know the character, but I think I'm going to enjoy this movie. I'm going to be able to learn a lot more about this character, and I think I am going to have a good time, but I'm not like, I'm excited, but I'm not like overly excited.
You're not there yet.
Yeah. Probably need at least one more trailer.
Right. Just tickle your balls a little bit.
They just need to sell you a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, Awkwafina's doing a great job so far, but she always does.
Yeah. I'm like a very, like, a soft 9, or a very firm 8. Just because, again, I'm excited to see a new character. I love being introduced to new characters. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, loved it. I already was familiar with Doctor Strange a little bit when he came out, and same with Ant-Man. So this is like, for me, this is like the second brand new character that I know nothing about, and I want to learn more about this character. I'm trying to find some, like, his essential comics to read.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, god damn it.
It could go either way.
We'll get there.
My stupid American brain doesn't read it right.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, super excited. Can't wait. All right, and I think that wraps up everything for Through the Wall. So I think it is about time that we can move on to this week's headliner.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
for this week's headliner, we will be breaking down the New Mutants, which came out in... When did this come out?
2020.
It was supposed to come out in
2020.
2017, wasn't it?
No, 2018.
Something, yeah.
2018?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
They finally released it in August of last year.
Bloody hell, man.
Hey, better late than never. You gotta give them
no
that.
shit.
I mean, it didn't make its budget back, but...
Not even a little bit.
I mean... Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, so if you guys are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually grade to come to a final All Bros letter grade. I need to say score, then grade. Whatever. So the 8 categories that the 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal grade at the very end. And then all of that math gives us our schoolhouse grade for the movie. And then it gives us something to compare to with everyone else. So, if you have not seen this movie, spoiler alerts, Rose is about to ruin the entire movie for you if you have not seen it. So go check it out and then come back and listen to us.
Yes.
Or listen to us if you don't give a shit.
Either or.
Yeah, so
All right.
Rose, take it away.
Okay. All right. Danielle, Danny Moonstar, a young Cheyenne, I hope I said that right,
Yes.
Native American, is hidden in a tree by her father as her entire reservation is devastated by a tornado, leaving her the only survivor. After falling unconscious, Danny awakens in an oddly empty hospital run by Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who comforts Danny, explaining that she is not an ordinary human being, but rather has unique mutant DNA, and advises her to remain in this hospital until she learns the effects and how to control them. Danny is introduced to 4 other teenagers: Samuel Sam Guthrie, Ileana Rasputin, Roberto Bobby Da Costa, and Rain Sinclair. Reyes has brought each of them to the hospital after they have each accidentally caused a horrible tragedy. Sam collapsed an entire coal mine on his father and coworkers. Roberto accidentally burned his girlfriend to death. Rain escaped her devotee Catholic village after being branded a witch, and Ileana was enslaved as a child and sexually abused. All of them, however, possess superhuman abilities due to the mutations in their DNA. Roberto can manipulate solar energy, Sam can fly at jet speed, Ileana has interdimensional sorcery powers, which can, due to the sexual abuse, manifest itself as horrific beings called the Smiling Men, and Rain's lycanthropy, I know that's not how you say it, allows her to turn into a wolf. Reyes herself is also a powerful mutant who can manipulate plasma energy force fields, preventing the 5 of them from leaving the facility. Collectively, the 5 teenagers believe they are being trained to join the X-Men, hence the strict supervision. Reyes warns them that they are considered dangerous and should not leave until they have mastered their superhuman abilities. After a failed attempt at escaping, Danny plans suicide from the church clock tower but is prevented by Rain. The two begin to form a romantic relationship, but on the other hand, Ileana antagonizes Danny, who discovers that Ileana has a hand puppet of a purple dragon called Lockheed. Soon, the group all begin to have horrifying visions of their past tragedies, one of which results in Rain getting branded on the neck. Both Ileana and Reyes deduce that the visions are the result of Danny's powers manifesting themselves, the ability to physically manifest fears, illusions, or other thoughts from a person's mind. Ray consults her employers, the Essex Corporation, who instruct her to collect Danny's DNA and then euthanize her. As Ray straps her down on a gurney, Danny's panic causes her powers to go haywire. causes her powers to go haywire. Ileana and Sam are attacked by the Smiling Men while Roberto tries to break through the hospital's outer barrier, which is now contracted in diameter. Danny uses her powers to learn of Ray's true intentions before Rain arrives in half-wolf form and mauls Ray's, forcing her to flee. The five regroup in Ray's office and realize that Ray's was training them to be assassins for Essex, and in order to escape, they must kill Ray's to deprive the force fields of their power source. They find and confront Ray's, who warns them that Danny is too powerful and will destroy them all. Ray's restricts them all with force fields and tries to again kill Danny, which unleashes the demon bear. Danny's own fears manifested through her power and the true cause of her reservation's destruction. On her, Ray's is devoured and Danny rendered unconscious. Rain tries to reach through to Danny while Ileana uses her powers to travel to Limbo, where she retrieves a glowing sword, armor, and a tiny physical manifestation of Lockheed to battle the demon bear. Eventually, Sam and Roberto join the fight, as well as Rain, all to no avail. Danny is visited by her father's spirit, who encourages her to face her fear. She awakens and confronts Demon Bear, calming and thus dissipating it. As day breaks, the group leaves the now unshielded facility to find the nearest town.
Nice. I feel like this description kind of messed some stuff up.
It kind of did.
Yeah, like, what's his name? Sam?
Yes.
Yeah, so I know he is supposed to be, the film equivalent of Cannonball,
Mm-hmm.
the
okay.
X-Men character, and he's a speedster. Like, he's not able to fly, he's a speedster.
Oh.
But his power is weird because the faster he runs, it's like the more indestructible he becomes. And then he's able to like bounce off shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I mean everyone else's was pretty spot on. But his power is a little bit different from everyone else's. Or at least from the way that they described it.
Yeah,
but
that's a very good point.
This was an odd movie. Like, it was good, but it was just odd. Like, when we're talking about story, it was adequate. I feel like it was missing some shit, though.
I can definitely agree with that, and I know the director did say that I think he had like two sequels planned after this one. So
it definitely feels like it.
Yeah.
It, like, in terms of the story, I feel like, I mean, I don't know what you guys gave it, but I know, I think mine was pretty high, in terms of, like, story grade, but, I mean, I thought it was good just because, like, I feel like it could have potentially set up a lot more stuff. So it's kind of a shame that, like, I don't think we're going to be seeing much come out of that or anything come from that. But I think that there was a lot that it could have set up.
Yeah, the way that they set up Essex, the Essex Corporation,
Mm-hmm.
They could have introduced Mr. Sinister. They could have introduced a lot. It's just Disney acquired Fox back, or not back. Disney acquired Fox, and they're just like, all right, whatever. We're cutting our losses. Just freaking release the movie.
Yeah,
everything was just thrown out the window at that point.
Yeah, so it definitely feels like an unfinished project in a way, like with this story. But thinking about it as like not taking into consideration what it could have been or what it could have led to. Like it wasn't a bad story. Like, so Vic, you were definitely the one that enjoyed this or that rated this a little higher than us.
Mm-hmm.
Rose was actually the harshest on this movie overall.
Oh shit! I just thought I was gonna be the nicest.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in the middle. It was funny. It's funny with this one because I'm in the middle with most of these scores other than. Oh nope, I was nicer with acting too. Never mind, I was in the middle for a lot of this.
Shit. Well, now I feel bad.
So the story ended up scoring an 80 with
That's
all of
not
our
bad.
combined scores.
I feel as just like a lonesome X-Men movie. I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this one for how much hatred it was getting. So many people felt it was unfinished. But no, I loved the focus on just it was 5, right? And there 5 kids.
Yeah,
5 mutants.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that it was just kind of just focused on these certain 5. I especially liked the way that they set up the hospital. Like, it truly felt like a prison, even though they didn't want it to, but it did. Just like the aesthetic, the way it looked. I don't know, just like I think the location alone had great story building.
Yeah.
Made the story that much better.
Like when they were talking about like how they were being, or when they thought that they were being trained to become X-Men, I will admit I fell for it. Like I thought this was going to go a completely different direction, but I fell for the X-Men lead on.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, okay, this definitely does seem like something Professor X would have in place when it came to mutants with more dangerous abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he would send someone that could protect them, like what Dr. Ray is in the her force field abilities.
Yeah.
I'm like, that definitely feels like an Xavier move. Yeah, and then as soon as I saw Terminate, I'm like, oh, that's not him.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys like the X-Men joke though? Like after the whole they're training us to be X-Men, and I think Sam says, "Wait, X-Men get paid or something?" Like that? That was pretty funny.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. Like you said, I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like I thought this was going to be another Dark Phoenix, but it's
for real though.
Really good.
And I think that's why like my scores ended up being a little bit higher, because I did go in with the expectation like this isn't going to be that great. Like you know what I mean? Like you hear all this about these movies, and then I end up watching it, and I'm like, this is actually like, it's a pretty good. Like I enjoyed it a lot more than I really did anticipate.
Yeah,
same here.
It surprised me. I think instead of getting another Dark Phoenix, I think quality wise, maybe another X3.
Oh, okay.
That's just comparing it to other X-Men movies.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I can totally agree with that.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. I really liked the manifestation of everyone's fears.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that confused me is with Sam in the laundry room. And it was like that fire hand that slapped against the washing machine.
Well, didn't he say with because of his accent, he literally burned
like
and
blew
buried
up
all
or something?
Yeah, he literally burned and buried all of those people.
Did he say he burned them?
I thought he said he blew him up.
Yeah, it probably was that.
I think, but I mean, I watched this for the first time and only once this week. So, I mean, I think that's what he said, but
Yeah, the way his powers were portrayed were a little bit weird, but I mean, we'll get into that with effects, because with this, it did not feel like he was a speedster.
no,
Not at all.
it felt more
Like, I
like
know-
he could, like they were making him like he can just, I don't know, like just catapult himself, or you know what I mean, like just kind of push his way through, or just I don't know, they're just weird, like yeah.
Yeah,
Weird
it's
thought.
odd. Like, I know he kind of has like in the comics, like from what they set up, he becomes like a human cannonball. So, like I said, the faster he runs, the more indestructible he gets. And so he does become like he can smash through walls and stuff, or like use his energy to bounce off of things. But in this, it just felt like he could turn himself into a rocket.
This is very true.
Yeah.
But overall, I think 80 is a pretty fair score for the story.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Yeah, it was above average, but was just lacking in some areas.
Yeah.
Moving on over to writing, we actually gave this one a little bit lower. So this one ended up scoring a 76.3. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but once again, Rose was the harshest on the writing, but
How harsh was I?
I gave it a 73, you gave it a 70,
Oh, okay.
and then Vic gave it an 86.
I enjoyed the dialogue and the writing in there, you know what I mean? It wasn't I didn't think it was too bad. I mean there were definitely parts that like I can agree they weren't maybe the best, or it definitely lacked in quality, but I felt like just in terms of like the dialogue, the interaction, all that stuff, I felt like it was pretty good. I felt like it was well deserving of a decent score, but that's just my opinion.
I feel what kind of brought it down for me, or no, the biggest thing that brought it down for me is what is the Eliana. I don't know why, but she is like stereotyped as she just comes across as a bitch, and I know that's what she's supposed to come across as, but even like towards the ending, I never really got empathy for her. Maybe a little bit, but not as much as they probably wanted me to. Because for like 75% of the movie, I could give two shits about her because she was just such a bitch to Danny. Yeah.
That's fair. For me, what brought it down was just some weird, like, again, it was like Ileana brought it down for me. But the scene that like stuck out the most when it came to I feel poor writing was when they were up in the attic and they were doing like strapped on the lie detector, and then Roberto is just like, dare. I'm like, you're strapped to a lie detector,
Yeah.
dipshit.
Yeah.
I guess you're trying to be cool, but no, it's not working here, buddy. Sorry.
I think like for me, I know like again just jumping back into like the interaction, and I think something that Rose was saying like about like not really feeling empathy. I didn't. How do I say this? Like, I think it was a pretty like it was a pretty good representation of how people can be like when you are just forced to interact with people. Like at the end of the movie, I didn't feel like she and Danny were any closer. You know, like I mean, they were, but it's not like they were best friends now and ready to like share secrets and stuff. I feel like at the end of the movie, it's like, you know, I I'm around you. I can be around you because like there's no one else to be around at this point, and I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt, and I feel like that was really like accurate of again like of a how a real life situation could possibly go. Yes, you have now gone through this shared traumatic experience, but you know, that doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, we're going to be best buds now and wear each other's friendship bracelets. You know, we're you know, they're just kind of around because those are the only friends or people that they have around at that point in time because according to them the nearest town is 20 miles. So at least for the next 20 miles, like, you're what I've got kind of thing, you know?
Right. I think one thing that just felt odd, and it was just like an inconsistency, was like I justified it as her disappearing because she was afraid when it came to like the final battle with like the smiley faced men. And when she came back and it was like she brought her sword with her, or she brought like had like her metal arm or whatever.
Yeah.
And the way that it seemed like, oh, she went there to get that stuff when earlier in the movie she had just manifested it out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was even the sword. The sword became like a legitimate sword. It wasn't just like an energy sword. And so it was just like that like little inconsistency. I feel like that was more of a writing issue than anything. It was just like, okay, which is it? Is it something that she can manifest? Is it something she has to go into her limbo to get? And it was like little things like that, but something that I really liked, and I use like very loosely with this situation. When she was, when her fears were manifesting, and it was like the smiley faced men, and just like how creepy they are, and the way that she explained it, like these horrible things were happening to her, but it made everyone around her smile. And the way that it was just showing like she was raised or used in like mafia or
probably sex trafficking, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's really neat. I did appreciate, not appreciate, but I kind of like I get what you're saying, because I like seeing that, I don't think that's exactly what they were. I think because when they show her like she's a little girl, and that's just how she portrayed these men, and so that's what that fear then manifests itself into, is what she kind of remembers as this, I don't know, however old she was supposed to be, you know, when they show her as a little girl. And I really liked that I was like, hey, they're not meant to be like these actual monsters. It's just they were monsters in her head at that time because there were horrible things happening. And like she said, that whatever was done, it made them cry, but it made those people, those men smile. You know, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that is an interesting like just way of wording it, and like you know, alluding to that you know, that reality, or her reality, you know.
Yeah, and the way that she was written, she did feel very disconnected from reality. Like she had her little puppet, Lockheed, and just like little things like that. So it would make sense that her fear, once it was manifested, was something outside of reality.
Yeah.
and I was pointing this out to Brielle because she was just caught the ass end of the movie. How all of the smiling men are dressed like typical mafia gangsters, like the silk shirt that's like open up, and I'm like, that's wild because it's like we, like as an audience member, that someone that as an adult that knows what's happened or knows like a situation or can
comprehend. You can comprehend the deeper meaning of what she is saying or what she's describing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, I just really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have gone a little bit more into Sam's and Roberto's fears a little bit. Because with Sam, it was just like the one instance where he woke up and he thought he was in the cave.
Yeah.
And then Roberto was in a pool and thought he saw his on fire girlfriend, which was creepy as shit.
That was some creepy shit.
Kudos to the special effects department, though. They did a great job on that.
My one thing...
Oh, absolutely.
I think one thing that did bring things down for me, especially that part where, like, he's in the pool, it shows him, it shows Ileana, but, like, and she was in her room the whole time. And, like...
Yeah, like, what the hell was that?
Like, nobody else's, like, okay, like, Rain, like... She sees the pastor that, like, beat her near to death, but, like, she didn't see anybody else that was present in that building, like, there with her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why his quote-unquote fear included Ileana in there. You know what I mean? Unless he's, like, secretly scared of her. But I just don't get how that fit. Like, why wouldn't he just see somebody that, like, I think that could have been better if, like, he sees a girl, he's just like, hey, who are you, kind of thing, and then it just, like, all of a sudden it's this burnt to a crisp, you know, woman or his former girlfriend. I think that would have probably been a little, I don't want to say better, but it would have brought it up a little bit for me. I was so confused. Yeah. I was like, I don't get why she, like, what, I don't know, like, why did he have to get led into the pool with the image of Ileana, and then all of a sudden, like, she's his girlfriend that he burned alive? Like I said, unless he's secretly scared of her.
Yeah, that was confusing as hell, because, like, it took me a second to be like, wait, she was just, like, is she messing with him?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But then it was like, but then I started thinking, like, okay, maybe it was the fear thing, but then it's like, okay, but they set the precedent that she can, quote unquote, teleport.
Yeah.
She goes into her limbo.
Goes into her limbo, but comes out a different portal, kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, it makes sense that it, like what happened?
Yeah, I mean that is something that I was a little confused about, and I think the writing could have been adjusted there. But yeah, that was something that definitely brought me down.
Yeah, overall, I mean, there was just a lot of issues. A lot of little just nitpicks here and there, but those little nitpicks start to add up.
That's true.
Dialogue-wise, it could have been better. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst either. I just think it was somewhere in the middle. But I think 76.3 is actually a pretty decent score for writing.
Yeah, especially as an overall, like, I think so too.
Yeah, so moving on over to acting. Once again, Rose, you were the harshest. I was actually the nicest for once. I feel like I'm usually the hard ass on acting. But I was just a few points above, or a couple points above Vic. So I gave it an 89. Rose gave it a 77. And then Vic gave it an 87.
I'm harsh.
So, who was the standout for you guys?
Mine was Danny. For somebody that like, I didn't really look into that actress. I don't know if she's been in anything else or what else she's been in, that I would have known her from. But mine was her. I think, I don't know. I just felt like, I didn't feel any real disconnect from her character. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like she kind of disconnected from who she's supposed to be, or who she's like, that she is trying to be somebody there. Definitely had like some issues with all the other ones though. You know what I mean? Like all the other actors, especially Roberto. I don't know what the hell it was about Roberto that I was just like, I can't stand this guy. I don't know what the hell
He
it
was annoying.
It's the pop collar, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they just didn't. I just don't think that they developed everyone well enough.
No.
Like, it's just, you kind of, it was almost like they expected you to know who they were already, and it just didn't work because, I don't know. I think they tried giving us that with the attic lie detector scene,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it just it didn't work.
But I think like I think you're right. I think they did kind of go into it like expecting people to like just kind of know who they were, and just kind of know their background. But I feel like, I don't know. I think of all of them. I know I've heard Magic, who's Ileana's character. I don't think I really ever heard of the other ones very much. So I mean, it's definitely not like you're throwing out Wolverine, Rogue, Scott Summers, these people that obviously people know them. But I feel like, I think you're right. I think they kind of went in expecting the audience to know who they were right off the bat.
Yeah, I think something that would have served them well, that I feel might be a little on the cliche side, but I think what they could have done to improve who we thought, or to improve the character, is to open the movie up, like, and do a scene like they did with Danny. Show the moment where their powers began to manifest. Show us that, what was her name? Raina or Rain?
Rain.
Yeah.
Show us that she was branded by a witch, or branded as a witch.
But I think that's what like their biggest fears was when they were finding those out. And I think that's what
that would have made sense to see later on.
Yeah.
Too. Like,
no,
to see all the shit, it's just like, could you imagine how much more of an impact that scene would have with Rain and the pastor, had we seen that earlier? Had we seen the first mark that she was
as opposed
given?
to her just saying it in their group therapy?
Yeah,
I mean,
been a little, like, just a little extra, been like, oh, like, when we hear his voice again, like, we hear, like, witch, and then, like, the branding, like, seeing a scene with that, and then later on, like, you could still have, like, the therapy scene and talk, like, so she talks about it, just kind of recapping what we saw in that opening bit, and then once we, in the shower, and then that happens again, and you hear the, like, you're a witch, you're an abomination, blah blah blah. Like, hearing that voice again would have been like terrifying. I'd be like, oh shit.
I
but
think,
like, there I was just like, okay, what's happening?
I think instead of her just talking about it, like during the group therapy, maybe if it would just cut into like her story, and then show a flashback of that, I think that would have been good. I think too, like, the reality of it is it being, I mean, and I appreciate this too, like, it is supposed to be a group therapy session, and you don't always get the most not interaction, but like what's it called? Cooperation, or you know what I mean? It's you're always gonna have people that are just not ready to share. So I feel like it would have been hard to like even include it in that area. I would have appreciated that, but we didn't get everybody's, you know. I'm just,
Right.
you know, I think it would have just been a little tough to find out unless like you cut into scenes like maybe where Sam and Roberto are talking and he's telling him, you know, what happened with his dad. Like I think instead of just him talking or them talking about it, you cut to that scene or you cut to that flashback. That would have been, I think that would have been better, because then, like you said, when it shows the fear, then it would have had a lot more impact, or would have had a lot more weight to it, you know. So I do agree
Yeah.
with you. I think just finding the right time and moment at like towards the beginning of the film wasn't exactly there.
Yeah, I would have personally opened up the film doing everyone's backstory other than Ileana's. I would have left hers pretty much exactly how hers was. Kind of leave her as a mysterious character until later on. But I would have done it with everyone else just to give them a little bit more depth to their character. And I think all the actors, they did the best job that they could.
Yeah.
But it's just they weren't given that much to work on. Like, I think had we seen a little bit more, and I know I've seen like the guy who played Sam, he's in Stranger Things. I've seen some amazing acting from him.
Yeah.
So it's not that he can't do it. It's just he was working with like some shit material.
Yeah.
Like what you said, like open up with the scene of his powers manifesting, show just the destruction, don't show exactly what's happening, like don't show like who was left in the cave or whatever. Save that for later on when in the laundry room when they're having that moment. But just give us an idea of what their powers are and how it affected their life. And with Roberto, yeah, definitely show, or I mean, don't show us, but just do the burnt girlfriend bit.
Show somebody swimming, and then he's like, you know, who the hell are you? Like, hey, who, you know, maybe he might think like, hey, Ileana, hey, Danny, like, who is it? But maybe he thinks like, oh, they don't hear me because they're swimming or something. But then as she comes, like, he looks down, doesn't see anybody, and then like fucking pops up and it's this burnt hand that grabs him, kind of like what it did. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would have been better. I just didn't. I was confused with why Ileana's image was there in the first place. Again, unless there is some kind of fear. Maybe they're trying to just say like he's a little scared of her. I don't know.
Yeah. One thing so a good way to improve that scene, I think what you could have done is just had an image of a girl swimming, but made him think that it's Ileana, and then show something happen, like maybe she like dives and is underwater for too long and he jumps in to like rescue her, and then while he's underwater doing like an underwater scene, and then like when he grabs the person, it's the burnt
that would have been
corpse.
cool too. Yeah,
that would have.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horror movie, go all out.
Yeah. No, I mean, I actually like that, having an underwater scene like that. But that's what I meant, like, just
with
a figure
fire
that you don't know
too,
who it is.
like that would have been bitching.
Oh yeah. Amanda and I did laugh when, like, how, you know, Dr. Reyes puts him out. She just like grabs the freaking pool net and like boop, like pushes him in there.
For
like,
real though,
is that simple? Isn't he supposed to like manifest, or at least like Yeah, like manifest powers of the sun or whatever. So like, wouldn't that thing have just caught fire and not even got close to him? I mean, like,
Yeah, only
He
like
was in-
25% of
her-
it got charred.
he was like fully flamed on, and like you're telling me that thing just could touch him and push him in. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there were some things. There were a few things, but I guess I didn't let them get to me too much. So
Yeah, it's like your power is you can manifest shields. You couldn't just put a shield around him and push him in.
They had to make it a whole joke. Well, not a joke, but I don't know. Just the way that he looked when she started pushing him, and he's like, "Oh, you got me."
in the wise words of Peter Griffin, excuse me for being retarded.
Oh my gosh. But yeah. So Rose, who any standout for you?
I know you already mentioned him, but Charlie Heaton was actually the standout for me, and it was especially that scene where there are they had like 2 group meetings all together in this movie. It's either 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, they had a few.
Okay, and it's the one where they're focusing on him and he's telling his story, and she Ray's is kind of like, well, you killed so many people, and he's just like, well, then why is that the only thing that I'm known for? Why am I stuck here when I feel that I could be bettering myself out there? I know what I did was wrong, but I feel like I've paid the price for it. And I don't know, I feel Charlie Heaton got a really good emotional scene, or at least from what he was given in that part. And so to me, because of that, he was actually the standout for me.
Yeah, he was so good. I feel like they wasted him.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
They could have given him so much better material to work with. But yeah. For me, my standout was actually Eliana. As much as she pissed me off, but I think that just shows how good of an actress. I forget her name.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor.
Or Anya, sorry, thank you. I can't pronounce names.
Yeah, she was really good. She aggravated the ever-living shit out of me. And I don't know, I just really liked it. Like, it's like someone you love to hate, like character-wise. Like she just got on my nerves, but
So is she kind of like Loki for you?
not even Loki. Like, I feel Loki's more likable than she was.
Fair.
How about Joaquin Phoenix in The Gladiator?
Yeah. That's a little closer.
I was gonna say John Walker and Falcon and the Winter
Fucking
Soldier,
yeah,
but
there you
kinda
go.
just-
Yes.
That's
Okay.
John Walker's even closer
Spot
than that.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel she just gave like a really solid performance. And I think she had like the best material, was able to work with a lot of what she was given, and it worked for me.
Nice.
So yeah, so like I said, I was nicer than both of you.
I don't know
But,
why it was so
Well
harsh.
done.
Like, damn,
Yeah, Rose was like super
I'm
harsh.
cold.
But yeah, so acting is sitting at an 84.3. Moving on over to character development. Who did you guys grade?
Was it Debbie? Danny. Wow.
Danny?
Horrible with names.
Yeah, I mostly focused on Danny when it came to character development.
Yeah, I did too. What did you guys think overall?
Overall, I liked it. I think my biggest problem with her story arc is the fact when Reyes announces that, oh, she's a super dangerous mutant. she needs to be executed, all this stuff. But yet after this whole, I don't know if you guys were in the other mutant scenario, would you guys still trust her, even though that she's put you guys through all of this shit?
No.
Okay, yeah, see, so the fact that, at the end, it's just like, oh, hey, not, buddy, like you pointed out with her and Ileana, but they're okay with just being with her and walking next to her. None of them want to, just run off and say F you. And
I get that, but I feel like that would work in a scenario where you're at maybe the X-Men mansion, where there's more mutants around and more people to talk to, when there's only 5 people.
That's a good
there's
point.
only a total
of
of 6, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Honestly, one of the things was the interaction that she has with Rain at the clock tower. I really enjoyed that, because it was
that was a really good scene.
It's that kind of is how it is in those scenarios. You wind up finding at least somebody that can, maybe is far enough along that is able to see the struggle and kind of at least be that helping hand. You really do, and I feel like that was helpful for that. With keeping her, I think, involved with the rest of the group. But I don't know. This is just, again, opinion.
Very good point.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I wouldn't have trusted her, but I think everyone in that setting understood not being able to control their abilities.
Yeah.
And hurting people that they cared about.
That's a good point.
And
I think Rain pointed it out, you didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
It was an accident.
One issue I did have, and this is a huge issue for me, was at the end. It was at the end. I don't know if you're laughing because you're probably feeling the same. You probably have an idea of where I'm going with this.
I think I do.
But all of a sudden, she's a master of her fears? No.
Yeah.
Stop. I was like, what the fuck? It's that easy? Is it that easy? I'm sorry. I have fears of my own. I'm sure you two do, and everyone else listening to this podcast. We all have fears. And we don't. I think what we do is we find a way to cope with them, especially if it's something that is unavoidable. I mentioned it in one of our recent episodes that we were in a car accident a few weeks ago, and as of lately, I've been terrified on the road, but I have to just cope with that. You know what I mean? I have to find a way to cope with that. I can't just be stop. No. Don't be scared anymore. You know what I mean? It's not that simple. There's a method to that. I get it. I don't know. It was just very, I don't know. She just mastered it. That quickly. And I think that is why, for me, a part of it does feel unfinished, because it's I want to see more of, I would love to have been able to see more of her, mastering that, or at least overcoming, or again learning to cope with that, and not just point at the bear and make it a bitch.
That was
no swiping.
Such. Yeah. I'm okay, do you not see the size of that freaking bear?
She was the size of his fang. One of his fangs was as big as she was, and you're telling me it turns into a little puppy dog when she's no.
She just talks aggressively towards it, and it's
right.
What? What a shitty power.
Hear me. I kind of like that. Don't get me wrong. I think her power is cool. It's just when it was like turned against her that I had the issue when she had to like overcome it for herself. But I mean, I'm thinking I got real like, Age of Ultron vibes, like with Scarlet Witch, having everybody like again being brought into like just really dark thoughts or visions and stuff like that, putting those like I got that kind of vibe with her power, but it just yeah, it was just when she had to face her own fear that I was like, seriously? That's how she overcomes this?
You got a very good point.
It didn't feel super great. I think it would have made more sense had her power, instead of it being like, oh, manifesting fear, it'd be manifesting thoughts, or making like manifesting dreams, or just more just when it comes to like a general sense. It would have made her power a little bit more general, not just fear, but it's just she was just always afraid of like maybe she was afraid of what was unknown about her village's disappearance or the massacre that happened there.
Yeah.
And that's why she, like, her fear of that, or her unwillingness to accept what happened or what she did, or whatever you want to say, that ended up if that manifested into her making people's fears a reality, and then it would be those like nightmare sequences.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would have made more sense than it's just like, her power is she manifests fears. That's dumb. Like, what a shitty X-Men power.
Not wrong. Well, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just, they could have done a lot better with her. I would have changed her power for one, but it's very, her change is very like sudden. It's just like, oh, suddenly she has like a little chat with her dad, and suddenly she overcomes her fear. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, if I have a conversation with my dad about my fears, guess what? My fears get a little bit worse.
Honestly, I feel because this movie is only an hour and a half.
I only find that funny because I know your dad.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I just had to laugh at that.
No, you're good. No, you got a very good point. Like, I'm scared to go to your dad with anything.
I mean, it's fair. It's hard to think that he even, like, I don't think he could argue with that.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Oh shit. No, I was saying I feel because I was kind of shocked that this movie is only an hour and a half for being an X-Men movie. So I feel they could have really benefited off if they stretched it to be 2 hours. I mean, that 30 minutes could have made up for a lot of ground time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Easily. Like, I would have added another 5 minutes per character, throwing in a little bit backstory, extra 5 minutes maybe adjusting like how Danny begins to control her powers.
Yeah.
Like, I would have even changed it so it's like, oh, we don't let, like, we can still be afraid, but we don't let it control us.
Yeah.
Like, that would have made more sense rather than her being like, I'm overcome my fear of big ass giant demon bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they could have handled that a little bit different, and I think a longer runtime would have served them really well. But altogether, we ended up giving the character development a 75.
It's not bad.
I mean, yeah, not bad at all. All right, next up we got effects, which we have sitting at an 81.3.
Trying to think. How did you guys feel about how the demon bear looked?
Looked fake as shit.
Okay,
But
okay, I'm not the only one.
It did, but it looked like good in some parts. What I liked is that it was like so obscured. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like it was just here is a giant bear. Like it almost looked like it was misty at the bit, like it's coming out of this black smoke kind of thing. Like I liked that because it wasn't like, you know, just seeing a giant fake, you know, CGI bear.
Fair enough.
So I liked that they did that.
Yeah, it was like overall the effects were decent. Like I actually thought the little minor effects that they had, like the force field at the edge of the property,
Yeah,
that looked amazing.
it looked awesome.
That did look really good.
Yeah, Cannonball when he was like freaking going around everywhere,
Going
that
crazy.
looked incredible.
Can I say
Like,
my favorite effect though was Lockheed when they had him like actually appear.
That was pretty cool.
When because I actually rewound it because I couldn't really understand her when she first like talks to the puppet.
and because her accent is thick as shit.
Yeah, but I thought she called it Lucky, and I was like Lucky. So I rewound. I like went back and I put the captions on, and I was like, oh, this is like that's I go, you know what? If it just ends up being a little nod to, you know, the actual Lockheed, then that's fine by me. But the fact that they like brought it to life, I was like, oh, that is so awesome. Like I absolutely loved that. You have no idea. I mean, I think, and I'm not super like well versed with X-Men lore and stuff, but I think it like mostly follows Kitty Pryde. I think it's usually associated with Kitty Pryde, but I mean, I was just happy to see it. You know, so that was probably my favorite part of the entire movie.
I don't know why. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Gil.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say, Lockheed. For some reason, when I first saw him, especially when he came to life, he reminded me a lot of Figment from Journey into Your Imagination. Have you guys heard of that? Right? I don't know why. I got like kind of looks like Figment. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it was just kind of funny to me.
That's hilarious. Overall, like I think the effects were pretty top notch. The only time it didn't was the bear fight. Honestly, like I think everything else looked like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the budget of this movie, effects were pretty spot on.
They were pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, the only time, like I said, the only time it didn't is when Roberto was fighting the the demon bear. He felt like super rubbery.
That part did. That was one of the parts where I was like, eh. But like I said, I think I liked that they didn't just give us a full body image of a bear, because that would have really, I think that would have really brought the score down. For me, anyways.
Everything else, like I know that they had the smiling men, and they also looked a little rubbery, but it made sense with how the characters looked.
This thing scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, but the movements were like super nice though.
And again, too, I think
Slenderman all over again.
I think because they're supposed to be, like, I think something that she just tried to, almost like shut out of her brain, or like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just how she portrays it as like from a child's perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's partially too why they came out the way that they did, almost so animated. But I do understand what you're saying. Like, I like that they decided to make them that way instead of like giving us actual just random men with smiley face masks. Kind of like what I like that they gave us the preacher, like they gave us a person that is supposed to portray this preacher, but I like that they did that with the smiley face men.
Yeah,
and the burnt girlfriend
Worked out
scared the
really
shit
well.
out of me.
Yeah, it ended up looking really good, uh, like in the end, but just enough things to knock it down a few notches. So, 81.3, not hating that.
Me either.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah. Moving on over to music. Let's see. I thought the music was just as average as could possibly be. So I ended up giving this one the lowest score. I gave it a 5. Then Rose, you ended up liking it the most out of the three of us.
I actually have a reason.
Vic was like
for
right
that.
in the middle. Do what?
I have a reason for that. I have a story behind that. So,
Okay.
I don't know if... I mean, yeah, like the music throughout the movie, I liked it, but like it was nothing like stand out. What stood out to me the most is the song that is playing like when they're showcasing who's in the movie, like at the end credits, like who was in it.
Okay.
And I freaking, because I thought that track was freaking awesome, and I went to Spotify to go download it. It's not even on the freaking soundtrack for this movie. They didn't release it. Yeah, they didn't release it till they haven't even officially released it. I would have to burn it off YouTube, and the guy didn't even give the actual name for the song.
You
So
Shazam it?
I did not.
That's hilarious.
I just might have to. But yeah, so that's why it's a 7 for me, just because that track was awesome, but I'm pissed that I can't find it.
All right.
Fair enough.
So what this end up getting then overall for the?
So
music?
this ended up getting a 6. So just exactly where you
Right in the
had it
middle.
at. Yeah. Which 6 is usually what our adequate or not even adequate, just like the decent soundtracks go.
Yeah.
I personally didn't find anything that stood out at all.
Yeah.
I just thought the music was just like whatever.
It wasn't anything
Like, take
special.
it or leave it.
Yeah, it wasn't anything special, but it definitely put you into it made you feel the vibe.
Yeah. So, like I said, I ended up giving it 5, but it ended up averaging out to a 6. So that's where it's sitting, which I don't hate.
Yeah, I don't either.
And then next up we got costumes, and this was a unanimous decision. We all ended up giving it a 6.
All right.
I mean, they never actually get any costumes, so it was just basic human clothing. So it's nothing really to write home about.
And that's usually what we end up doing with with these anyway. Like X-Men movies, like they're just kind of disappointing when it comes to costumes.
But I mean, okay, let me just say this. I kind of want to defend the X-Men movies. I would, as much as I would love to see it, it would be kind of hard to see. Let's go back to like the first or even the second or third X-Men movie to see someone like Hugh Jackman in a yellow jumpsuit. You know what I mean? Like, to make it...
Okay, well, if you're going like straight off the page, yeah, it's going to look ridiculous.
Right. But I'm saying like...
But if
that's
you
what I mean,
go with like
modern...
the concept, if you go with the concept that they had, for like you've seen that suit, haven't you? The Wolverine suit that they had at the end of the Wolverine.
I think so. I've seen the Wolverine,
like,
but I'm trying to... It's not one that I've watched very often.
So at the end of the Wolverine, there's like this deleted scene where what's her face gives Logan a box, and he opens it up, and it's a Wolverine outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's the cowl, it's the gloves, and then you see like part of the leg, and it's not like a super like Crayola yellow suit.
Yeah.
It's like just like an off color, like white, like a dirty white or yellow, or yeah, a dirty yellow color. It looks really good, but again, I think the cowl would definitely looked weird on Hugh Jackman,
Right.
but I would have liked to just see him in just the suit.
And I feel like, at least for that early on, anyways, especially anyways, something like that, like, okay, it's definitely not like MCU status where you can get somebody, you can throw Elizabeth Olsen and, into like the most ridiculously comic accurate costume in an episode of WandaVision, and it looks amazing. Like, I would actually kind of like that, honestly. If I saw more of that, that would be kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. I don't know how to, but like, I don't think they were anywhere near at a point where they were like, let's take a risk with this. You didn't have, I don't think they knew how much people would like actually maybe enjoy it, or even how to go about, like you said, having that concept at, maybe that would have been a good way. I would love, don't get me wrong, I would love to see like extremely comic accurate, straight from the page costumes for them. That would be really nice. But
yeah, but it's just when you think, or when I think specifically of the X-Men, their comics are very colorful. They're very bright. They're very vibrant. And that was like one of the appeals to the X-Men comics. Yeah. And then you get to the movie and they're very bland.
Yeah.
Like all the costumes are very bland. And what aggravates the ever-living shit out of me, and I could bitch about for 2 hours easy, the end of X-Men Apocalypse, we get comic accurate suits that they do not use in the next movie. They don't even tease them in the next movie.
I mean, it would be really nice to see that. I would love, don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to see some comic accurate costumes. I really would. But I think you just have to be at the the level that MCU is at right now to pull something like that off. Take a risk like that. I mean, look at the first Captain America movie. How much like the comic does he actually look, his costume? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing, but they build up to that kind of stuff. They build up to that kind of status where like fans can expect that from them. And I feel like the X-Men movies anyways, because of their, I don't want to say reputation. Well, yeah, their reputation and their history now with, the films that they've produced, I feel like it would wind up being something more for viewers to kind of bitch about as opposed to appreciate. I feel like it's something like they have to build this stuff up. I think now that Disney has them, they can build them up anyways, the way that they probably should be built up, and lead into giving us just that, like having those vibrant, like you said, those vibrant colors, those really like unique costumes that I think of Storm and I think of the white, I think they'd be able to, Disney's going to be the one that's going to be able to give that to us. But I don't think, yeah, but I digress.
I absolutely agree. And I think if they pull it off right, what they can do to, like, because every MCU movie, they justify the costume in some way, shape, or form. With Thor, it's his battle uniform. With Iron Man, it's just his suit. He's just like, oh, I like it in hot rod red. Captain America, like they put him in a as comic accurate as you can possibly get outfit.
Well, because he's just supposed to be a poster boy kind of thing too, and then it's like, all right, let's make this so you can actually go out and do shit. You know, get in the
Yeah.
get in the field.
Exactly. And then any other like Spider-Man, like it was just like a homemade suit, and then
Mhm.
Tony Stark came and like made it badass,
Yeah.
which another issue completely.
Yeah.
But um
Another episode.
but I think something that you can do to justify the X-Men, and you could justify putting a big badass like Hugh Jackman in like a yellow and blue suit like that.
Yeah.
Is you could justify it by saying like the world is very like against mutants. It's like a
So stand
more
out.
like a
This is how he
racism.
stands out,
It's-
kind of thing.
no, it's like the mutants are kind of a hated community. Like it's like a race issue
Right.
that no one likes the mutants, but to enhance or to improve public perception, they had to adopt like these superhero personas.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why their colors are so vibrant and so colorful. It's just like, we're being superheroes, just like you like the Avengers, like us. But guess what? We're mutants and we're people too.
You know, and not to get off onto a completely different tangent, but the way that like Falcon and Winter Soldier is being set up, where they do address a lot of like race issues in that show, I feel like that'd be great too, like how you're saying with the mutants, how they're hated and everything. I think another, maybe even what's it called? Just another way they could go about it would be like, just to stand out, like Mutant and Proud. Like maybe he would wear something like that because, like, I want you to know I'm a mutant. I'm proud of the. You know what I mean? Like instead of like, I'm not trying to hide. I'm not trying to wear, like you said, bland colors or dark, something that blends in. I'm trying to like stand out. I don't know. That's just. I don't want to get. I could get into it too. I really could.
Yeah, they could just do so much, and Marvel's just is famous for that. It's famous for handling race issues under the disguise of mutants and non-mutants. And I think that would be like, this is the day and age to cover that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
a way that I feel like the X-Men do that is with their costumes. That they portray, that they help with like the race issues, is part of, like, the costumes are part of it. And yeah, so it sucks that other than X-Men Apocalypse, we haven't gotten an X-Men movie where the costumes were just badass. Like the only in those movies, the only standout has ever been like characters that look completely different. So like Mystique is a standout, Beast is a standout, but it's just like he has a lack of costume. That's the issue. Let's see, another Magneto's also another standout. Professor X, he's in a suit and a wheelchair. It's hard to screw that up. But it's just like these little, they have the pieces, they just need to finish them.
Okay, the person that they have for Nightcrawler, like in the I'll say like the more recent X-Men, I like that person that they have for him. Like he has like the right build, like kind of skinny and everything. I want to see him in like the black and red Nightcrawler. Like I want to see that. Like that is something I would absolutely love to see. I love Nightcrawler. He's my absolute favorite.
Wasn't he in that in Apocalypse?
I don't know if he was wearing like
I think he was
he's
wearing
got
that black
like
and red.
the shoulder stuff and everything going on.
Oh, the shoulder. I don't know if he had the shoulders.
Okay. But that's what I mean, like how he's got like, it's almost like the red like V thing almost going down. And it's like it kind of like just outlines his body. I just like love Nightcrawler. Like that's something I want to see them do something really great with Nightcrawler eventually someday.
Yeah.
Just give me Nightcrawler.
Bringing it back to New Mutants.
Yes. Not the old mutants. But the new ones.
It's so costumes scored a 6. They're very average costumes. And I think what we're bitching about is the one area that X-Men should shine is in the costumes. And I don't think we've ever gotten an X-Men movie where they have. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just basic uniforms. Like, the only... Okay, I'll give it to X-Men First Class. Those were pretty decent suits, and it worked because First Class, that's what their suits look like.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other X-Men movies, I think they dropped the ball hard on costumes. So anyway, 6 is what we gave costumes. All right, last up we have our own personal grades. So let's go from bottom up to or for who liked it the least. So Rose,
Knew it. Freaking knew it.
you ended up giving it a 77.
I honestly thought I was gonna be like one of the nicer ones on this movie. I thought Caleb was gonna like give it a lot lower than me because I remember we were talking about this last night and I was like, oh, like I'm in like the high 70s, and he's like, oh, I think I'm in like the low to mid 70s. You lying asshole.
Okay, I gave it some thought. You should know that I changed my scores.
All right, fair enough. But overall, I was pleasantly surprised by the New Mutants. It sucks that it can't be fully utilized of what I think that the vision that they wanted to go with, especially with these 5 characters. But what we got, I thought was very decent. The acting was pretty. It was pretty good. The whole story I feel worked well, especially the where it's set. I loved how that was built up into the story. So yeah, 77 for me. And apparently that's very harsh.
All right. I ended up giving it the second lowest. I ended up giving it an 80. So just a few points higher than what Rose gave it. I thought it was good. It was the story was adequate. It had some issues. There's just issues all around, but overall, I was impressed by what this movie was. I think that I would have liked to see a bit more. Like I would have liked to see future projects come out of this. But I'm not overly bummed out that we're not going to get those, because I'm more excited for what the MCU is going to do with the mutants. So I will gladly wait on that. But I think this was a good, a decent stopping point for Fox. It was definitely one of the lower Fox projects, but overall, I think it's worth a watch if you like X-Men, and if you like the horror genre. It doesn't get super deep into horror, like it's not going to like scare the living shit out of you or anything, but overall, it's not bad. And then Vic, you ended up giving it the highest. So you said between 93 and 94, so I gave you 93.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you could even go with like a 93. I think I was just really impressed with it. Again, going in not expecting to like the movie, but I think overall, kind of like I kind of had the same mindset like you, where I think it was a great stopping point for it, and I think that's where I start. Like I would absolutely have loved to see like them develop things more or see future projects with it, but I think where as it stands, like if it were just a standalone, and the fact that it is just going to be just that, I was really impressed with it, and I mean, again, the fact they gave me Lockheed, like I was happy with that. They gave, in other words, they gave me more than just a nod to something from the comics or from the shows and stuff. So it was, yeah.
Awesome. All right, averaging all of our personal scores, that brings our final personal score to an 83.5, or our collective score to an 83.5. And with that, that concludes this breakdown.
This long breakdown.
This long ass break. Dude, I'm willing to bet our breakdown was longer than the actual movie.
Oh yeah, it
We are
was.
definitely, yeah.
Movie clocked in at like an hour 37.
Yeah. Well, that's like episode overall. Like, I want to
okay.
know how long just our breakdown
It
portion
probably still was longer.
It might have matched it. It might have matched it though.
Yeah, or
I'll have to time
close.
this on Monday.
Yeah. So the final All Bros and Crash and Taz movie Cellar score for the New Mutants is.
I gotta get a mini drum. It sounds so stupid now.
It is sitting at a C+.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
I
bad
can definitely
for
agree with that.
for a movie that I went in with, like, some pretty low, like some low expectations with it. That's not a bad score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is sitting at a 78.77%. So comparing this to some other C+ movies that we've graded, this puts it 1% lower than The Croods: A New Age. Barely, like seriously, 0.2% or higher than Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh shit.
It is 1% lower than Yes Day. 2% higher than Unhinged.
Okay.
1% higher than Wonder Woman 1984.
I need to see, but I agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see. 1% higher than The Babysitter Killer Queen.
All right.
1% higher than Aquaman.
Yes. Definitely.
1% lower than Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Fair enough.
Let's see. 1% higher than Tag.
All right.
1% higher than The Strangers Pray at Night. 1% higher than The Boondock Saints. 2% lower, or no, 1%. Yeah. 1% lower than Jexy. Damn near right in line with Jumanji: The Next Level. Ooh, this one's going to sting a little bit. 1% lower than Aladdin.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that does sting.
Oh no.
Oh, this one's going to sting more. Oh, wait. Actually, no. It is... Oh, shit. Oh, no. We effed up, guys.
How do we F up? Oh, I swear, if you say The Last Jedi is higher than it.
Nope. It is 1% higher than the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Okay, but I remember doing that episode with you guys, and I remember like a huge saving grace for it was Willem Dafoe.
That's true.
Yep.
It, and this movie scored higher. I mean, considering that, like, I recognize, like, there's two actors in this film that, like, I know her from, Game of Thrones is Arya. Anya Taylor-Joy, like her, I know from, the Queen's Gambit. Also, what's that one? Split. I think they did a decent job. The fact that Willem Dafoe, I felt like had to carry that film. I remember that being like a very big point that we made when we got to the acting portion.
Dude, you want to know what? Okay. So what absolutely murdered Spider-Man was the writing.
Okay.
And we were talking about just how cheesy the writing was.
Mm-hmm.
The effects also kind of killed it. And then the music we said was like fairly average, and then the costumes were high. But what's blowing me away is our personal grade for Spider-Man is lower than it is for New Mutants.
Well,
so
I think
by our math, we liked New Mutants better than we liked Spider-Man.
I think what it comes down to is like you hear Spider-Man and you're like you expect big things. You know what I mean? Like that is a big name superhero. The New Mutants, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what to expect really. Like I'm trying to justify it, but I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is overall favorite superhero, but
I was actually thinking about this a couple days ago because I've been on this like kick of like watching like old time commercials for when like big movies came out when we were younger, and I was watching like some of the stuff that they did for Spider-Man, and I forgot like honestly how special and just so rare that this kind of superhero movie was when it came out, and because like literally you had really not gotten any good Marvel movies. It had only been DC before Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And for that fact alone, I know it hasn't aged the best, but for that fact alone, and just for how special this movie was when it came out, I feel that does definitely boost it above New Mutants for me.
yeah.
Yeah. I wish I kept a record of our personal scores for that.
That does hurt, but what's done is done.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's done is done. Some bitch.
Okay, I think so. If it makes everyone feel better, critically speaking, New Mutants is better than Spider-Man. Because with Spider-Man, the story was much higher. Okay, that's actually all that was really higher. I don't know where I was going with that.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
It's okay. You tried. You tried.
I plan on being up.
Better.
I plan on being up well past midnight, anyways. So, I was already planning on losing sleep. It's okay. It's all right.
So anyway, that is our breakdown of the New Mutants. Real quick, one thing I forgot to bring up before we got into the breakdown. Yeah.
I wanted to like stop you earlier, but I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna let him run his show. He's got this. This is the All Bros, not Crash and Taz movie Cellar. I'm gonna let him. He got this. But
So we posted a question of the week, and we asked, "What is your favorite X-Men movie?" And we did get a response over on Instagram from a friend of, actually both of ours, the Ex-Wife podcast.
I love that show. I found them not long ago, and actually I've been listening to them since day one. So they're actually really great. Nice. And I've talked to them a couple times, and they're really nice.
Yeah. But they said that their favorite X-Men movie is Days of Futures Past.
Okay. I feel that's definitely a favorite of a lot of people. But
yeah, they said such a good adaptation of the comic with twists to fit both film franchises. X2 had always been my favorite before that, though. But Alicia's number 2 is First Class.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know if he mentioned. I'm assuming, just having like chatted with them in the past, I'm assuming that X2 was probably his favorite because it has Nightcrawler, and I know that Justin and I were kind of the same, at least in terms of, from what the conversation I remember having with him was that, I've always been tied with Nightcrawler and Wolverine being my favorites, and I'm assuming that's probably why, because that was our first glimpse at getting Nightcrawler, because that was definitely my favorite. It's mainly because we get to see more, more of the powers and stuff, more mutant abilities being shown. So it's always, for me, it's always been between that one and even X3, The Last Stand. I like it. Get to see some Juggernaut. We get to see all these guys, and get to see Beast. I wish I got to see Nightcrawler again, but mine it's honestly tied between those two for me.
Yeah, when it comes to X-Men characters, I think Nightcrawler is definitely my favorite. I love Nightcrawler.
I want to get his pop where he's like teleporting, but I'm holding out.
Oh my gosh, right?
I'm holding out. I'm holding out for them to make like the comic accurate one. It's a long shot, but I'm holding out for that. I may just get the one of him teleporting, and then if they ever do that, I'll trade it or I'll sell it or whatever, or I'll just keep both. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Ex-Wife Podcast, for answering our question of the week, and I apologize for almost skipping it.
He just sucks. It's all good.
Yeah, I suck.
In his defense, it's late where he's at.
That's true.
It is.
Shit, yeah, that's pushing midnight.
It is very late.
Which, that usually happens whenever you have me on your show. We always wind up doing like an extra long episode, it feels like. So,
dude, that usually happens anytime we have a guest. Like, we are incapable of staying on track.
Yeah, it's physically impossible.
I feel like No, yeah, you're right. I think it's happened once where you guys went like pretty long with a guest, but yeah. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is.
Dude, we've gone so long with you. We had to split Endgame into 2 parts.
That was amazing. How dare you?
You know how long that had to be. We talked about Endgame longer than the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I see nothing wrong with that, sir.
Hell, we almost matched the length of Infinity War and Endgame combined.
Dude, like legit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we got halfway through our breakdown before I was like, okay, I need to go to bed. Anyway. So, thank you guys for answering our question of the week. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, so that concludes this week's breakdown. Next week, we will be doing something once I pull up the list. Next week, you guys can look forward to us breaking down the new Mortal Kombat movie with special guest from the Untrained Eye. So yeah, look forward to that next week. And also, remember we're going to do some stuff, but this is the last episode. But we're still hoping that you guys go check out our good friends at Super Astra Films on Instagram. We had them on for our Zack Snyder Justice League episode. They're still trying to promote their new horror short called Willow and Lydia. So go support them however you can. Links to everything that they do is in the description. You can also check out their other short film, Umbra, which I'm going to say we broke down on Thursday for you guys. So when that gets released. So yeah, links to all that will be in the episode description. So please go and support them. Vic, what do you anything you want to promote?
Yeah, you guys can please, by all means, check out my show, which is Crash and Taz Movie Cellar. It's just me and my uncle. Well, we do a lot. It's honestly, if you enjoy this show, it's very similar now to the All Bros. We just have a little bit of a twist to it where we kind of keep it like bar themed, alcohol themed, really. Could even be like weed dispensary themed. Where we rate movies on we do rate them, and we have a special scale called the Cellar scale, and on there we just see if it is either a premium or top shelf movie, and that's where it lands. That's where we find out where they land on there. Again, that one's called Crash and Taz Movie Cellar. You guys can catch us on like Spotify, Stitcher Breaker, a couple other platforms. We're also on Instagram. It's Crash and Taz Movie Cellar. It's Crash with the letter N, Taz Movie Cellar, and there's underscores in between each word. We're friends with the All Bros on Instagram, so you could easily find us on there too, on the friends list. So, that's really the only thing that I can think of at the moment that I'd promote.
Hell yeah, go check it out. Weekly listener over here.
Oh yeah.
Even with movies I haven't seen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think a lot of our movies wind up being movies that like some of our listeners haven't seen, because my co-host, who's my uncle, he's a huge fan of like 80s films, so we get a lot of 80s movies like on his end, where we pick movies, we go back and forth each week, so you definitely can see the difference in tastes of movies and stuff. So
yeah, it's awesome. You guys have some amazing conversations, and Taz always comes in with some amazing like little trivia.
Yeah. No, he does.
Yeah, so go check them out. I'll put links to all of their stuff in the description as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Until then, if you like this episode, want to hear more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We are damn near everywhere. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube. Hit us up on social media if you want to suggest an episode idea, want to answer our question of the week, or if you want to join us on an episode. We would love to have anyone on. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search at The Allbros. You can also email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com. Check out our website where you can find links to everything that we do, tinyurl.com/theallbros. And go check out our merch store on our website. We have one. I haven't posted anything new for a really long time, but new stuff will be going up eventually.
I'm a large, and I'll look for my what's it called? Frequent visitor sweater in the mail.
Oh shit!
I'm kidding, but I would definitely. Actually, I will most likely be going on there and getting some. I'll purchase like a sweater or something, like an All Bros merch. I would gladly wear your guys' stuff. I'm just letting you guys know.
Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate that. So, like I said, links to everything that I mentioned is going to be in the description. So, until next week, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Vic.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.
So long.
Peace.
Awful. I'm sorry.